In every room you enter, two things are already speaking for you before you even open your mouth: your reputation and your results. One tells people who you are, the other tells people what you're capable of. And the leaders who learn how to steward both become the ones people trust, listen to, and follow. Today, I want to talk about something that sits right at the center of that reality: the difference between your personal brand and your professional brand. Here's something many people don't realize. Whether you mean to or not, everyone has a brand. Your coworkers know your brand. Your friends know your brand. Your family knows your brand. Your boss knows your brand. The question is not whether you have a brand. The question is, what are people experiencing when they experience you? Because that is your brand. Your brand is not your logo. Your brand is your reputation. It's the story people tell about you when you're not in the room. Now, let me add something here that we don't talk about enough when we talk about personal brand. Your brand doesn't just show up in rooms, it also shows up online. The things you post on social media, the way you present yourself, the conversations you participate in, all of that becomes part of your brand. Social media may feel casual, but it is still public reputation. And people are forming impressions about you long before they ever meet you. So it's important to ask yourself, is what I'm posting aligned with the woman I'm becoming? Is it aligned with the level of leadership I say I want? Because your brand is being shaped not only by what you say in meetings, but also by what you're posting on your timeline. Social media may feel temporary, but reputation is long term, and the internet has a very long memory. Let's start with personal brand. Your personal brand is the reputation of who you are. It's your character, your personality, your values, your presence. It's the way people feel when you walk into a room. Some people walk into a room and bring calm. Some bring clarity. Some bring encouragement. And some people walk into a room and bring confusion. Let's be honest. If everywhere you go, there is drama, if every workplace you enter becomes chaotic, if every relationship becomes complicated, at some point, we have to ask a real question. Is it the environment, or is it the brand you're carrying? Your personal brand answers this question: who are you when the title is removed? Because titles change, jobs change, positions change, but your character travels with you everywhere you go. Titles may introduce you, but character is what people remember about you. Let me share something personal. There was a time when I thought the most important thing about me professionally was my title. If someone asked who I was, my first response would be what I did. Oh, teacher, consultant, coach. And those things are meaningful, but over time, I started noticing something very interesting. When people talked about the impact I had in their lives, they rarely mentioned my title. They talked about the conversations, the encouragement, the leadership insight, the way I made them think differently about their work and their growth. And that's when something clicked for me. Your title may introduce you, but your presence is what people actually experience. The moment you stop defining yourself only by what you do and start understanding who you are, that's when your real brand begins to develop. Now, let's talk about professional brand. Your professional brand is the reputation of what you do well: your expertise, your skills, your results. Your professional brand answers the question, what do people come to you for? Who are you when a problem needs to be solved? Are you the strategist, the communicator, the organizer, the visionary, or the person who attends the meeting and contribute very little? Every organization has one of those. Professional brand is about competence, Personal brand is about character, and real leadership requires both. Here's something I see often with women. Many women build an excellent professional brand. They're intelligent, they're capable, they're prepared, they're exceptional at their work, but they silence their voice. They shrink their presence. They wait to be invited into conversations where their insight is actually needed. And then they wonder why someone else receives the opportunity. You cannot be the best kept secret in the room and expect to be the most trusted leader in the room. Visibility matters. On the other side, some people build a strong personal presence. They're likable, they're charismatic, they connect well with others. But people are not always clear on their expertise. And leadership requires both presence and proficiency. Let me say something to the women listening. Some of the most brilliant women in the room are often the quietest, not because they lack wisdom, but because somewhere along the way, someone taught them to shrink their voice, shrink their ideas, shrink their confidence. But let me say this to you clearly. Your humility should never require invisibility. Leadership requires voice. The leaders who create lasting influence understand something very important. Your personal brand builds trust. Your professional brand builds credibility. And trust plus credibility creates influence. That's when people don't just enjoy being around you, they respect your leadership. Trust opens doors. Credibility gives your voice weight. And when both are present, people listen. So here's the question I want to reflect on today. If someone described you in 3 sentences, what would they say? Would they describe your title, or would they describe your impact? Would they talk about your role, or would they talk about your presence? Because leadership is not just about the position you hold. Leadership is about the reputation you build over time. And that reputation lives at the intersection of 2 things: who you are and what you do. That is the difference between personal brand and professional brand. Your job might open the door, but your brand determines how long you stay in the room.